talking about most, we're just known for herbalism, healing, magic, of course, and all those things apply to herbalism. And I'm not an expert, and neither we're none of us, but we use it for magic. And there are so many different categories for herbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Culinary,
Yeah.
and well, even culinary herbs you can use for magic.
Right.
Like doing a love dinner when you invite somebody over.
That's a great idea, actually.
I know. Well, red candles,
Yeah.
a little hot pepper and things, a little passion. Um, but in everyday food, like lemon is ruled by the sun for healing.
Mm.
And it is actually a healing vegetable,
Mhm.
I guess, because it's citric, it's acid, and it works so well in the body. So we can talk about all those, and the other categories are, what do we say, culinary, medicinal,
Medicinal.
and,
You could have magical.
and what do you call it?
Cosmetic.
Cosmetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can use all kinds of herbal rubs and things for your skin and face,
Yeah.
and it works so well. But how do you get to know all about the herbs, and especially using them, the actual herb itself,
Yes.
which is, you need to know a great deal about it because there's some that are poison.
Yep.
Now, there are many books on this subject. Before we get started, if you have a pen and pencil, you should take down the names of these books because they're important.
Yeah, and I will post them afterwards, but let's just for everyone, as you're starting to join, just so everyone knows, welcome. My name is Heather. You obviously know who this is.
I'm Laurie Cabot. Hi.
She's this unknown person. And we're doing we're starting these magical conversations, and tonight our little fireside chat is going to be about herbs, okay? And as Laurie said, we're gonna jump around to a lot of different places. So we might do cosmetic, we might do some, culinary, we might do some magical, we might do some, what was the last one?
Cosmetic.
There's different ones that
Medicinal.
medicinal.
Yeah,
So
medicinal is the most important, really.
yeah, so we're going to jump around to different things. If you guys notice, I have my iPad a little closer to me because Laurie and Penny and I are
We're the technicians.
that's right. So
I never thought I'd be a technician.
so I'm going to be looking down here. So I'm asking you guys if you have any questions as we're going along. I'm going to look for them. But we're going to have our conversations, and then we can, go. So we have several books. I will post the names of them later, but let's talk. You want to talk about them?
But yes, let's show them now
Okay.
and talk about them.
Okay. Well, you want to start with Culpeper?
Culpeper herbal is one of the very first herbals written. I don't remember the date.
So it's a couple hundred years old.
At least at least 200 years old.
Yeah.
And he started using astrology attached to each herb. In other words, where it was born. Where was that herb born around the globe, and what was hitting it in the sky? Like birthing a child or a person.
Yeah.
And that's how he did this. So you can judge a lot of the intentions, magical intentions, although he doesn't go there. But you can judge a lot of your magical intentions by the color of the plant and the planet that it's grown under. And of course, it'll be grown under many different aspects because, as you know, in a regular chart, when you're born, you're hit by so many different planets in different ways. Well, herbs are too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one single, it's not just a mercury herb, and that's what I did in my herbal. It took me 2 years in the 70s to put this together, and it really is about the magic, and it talks about the astrological impact, but it also gives you all the astrological signs and intentions that are for the herbs that are in here. It's not every herb in the world, of course, and there's just too much to even think about.
Right.
But this is a basic that you should read just to understand the history and how it was used 200 years ago, which is part of our heritage.
So just a couple things about this. There are many reprints of this, different variations of it. Obviously, if it was printed that originally that long ago, they've reprinted it multiple times. So this isn't the only cover of it. There's multiple different covers of it. But it has at least 400 herbs in it. So it's got a lot of, it packs a punch.
It is.
It's a pretty big book.
It's a good book.
So that's Culpepper's Complete Herbal, and as I said, I'll post all of this afterwards, the name of the books that we talk about. This is another one.
Mastering, the master book of herbalism, Paul Birrell. Now, Paul Birrell is extremely thorough. He has his own herb farm. I'm not quite sure where it is. I should know, but I don't. Ellie Barnes, who is an herbalist in New Orleans, she has her own garden that she grows astrologically, and she studies with Paul.
Interesting.
So she goes to his home all the way from New Orleans to wherever he is to study with him. And she's really very good at this. Very good. And this is complete. He's a master. It is a mastering book.
Okay, so again, I'll post the information on that one. We have a couple more. We don't have the books with us, but we're going to talk about them.
The number one is, I guess, I have trying to grow mandrake, a nice little mandrake person, and it's in this pot right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
And it's from Alchemy Works, alchemyworks.com. There's no plant there, you can't see it.
No, it hasn't come yet.
I've had it in the pot for over a month, and I was talking to Christopher Penzak about it today, and Harold Ross, who runs alchemyworks.com, has written a book, and some people say it takes 11 months before it will sprout.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it can go that long, but you have to keep it damp. You have to drop the water on it, every single day just to keep it damp. So I'm hoping you'll start to grow, please.
The mandrake, yes.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to it, but not listening to me.
Right. So his book is The 10 Witching Herbs, okay?
Isn't that a nice title, The 10 Witching Herbs?
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting, yeah. So, and it's kind of, mandrake, if I remember correctly, mandrake is discussed in the Harry Potter film, so everybody has heard of mandrake.
Oh yeah, and it's like a little person.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been depicted that way for centuries.
Yeah.
But it is also a healing herb. In the 1970s, one of the captains of the fire department came to me and gave me this big bottle full of chopped up mandrake.
Oh, really?
And it had a label from one of the existing pharmacies in Salem at the time. I don't know what happened to the bottle. I wish I had it.
Yeah.
It was a huge one. And they had ordered it for him for some kind of liver complaint.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he brought it. He didn't use it because it was huge. I mean, I don't know what he would have had to do to use all that mandrake. And he brought it to me. I wish I still had it, but it disappeared over the years. So it has been, I guess, commonly used in the past for medicinal purposes. We use it mostly for protection.
Nice.
It's a protection plant, herb. It's a root.
What do you do with it for protection? Do you just have the plant near you, or do you actually
I think
use it?
it's all the above. I think you can wear it. You can cut it up and make it into amulets, and probably put it in potpourri, a filter of herbs for protection. or maybe put a piece of it, under the doormat, kind of things like that.
Okay.
It's to keep it around you. This is, in this package is one more seed. I have 2 of these growing, and there's one more seed left in here, so my hope is that these 2 guys will come up. If not, I'm gonna try with that one too. And I thank you, Mr. Harold Ross, for giving us all these magical things. I got my Stearax oil from him.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't, well, that's another story about an oil, but if herbs make oils, and the oils make potions, and all kinds of things, so it's a long story about, I probably told this story a billion times about Isis, and I asked her, I went into Alpha and meditated, I called her, I asked her to give me a formula that would be her potion to connect to me. Well, I got rose, which I thought was interesting, lotus, patchouli, a couple of other things, and then she said Stearax, and I went, I'd never heard of Stearax, and I'd heard of Storax, so I said, Storax, you mean Storax, and I heard Stearax, and I went, oh, all right. And so I went looking for it. I could not find it, but alchemy.com had Stearax.
Where did you find your first Stearax?
Oh, the first Stearax I found was in Manhattan at Aphrodisia. It was a wonderful herbal shop there. And I happened to be in Manhattan, and there was this little tiny, tiny bottle that said Stearax. I was shocked. But the best part of this story, isn't it, is a friend of mine, Ed Peruzzi, found this antique herbal book. It was monstrous. It was this thick and this big. And he brought it over to the house, and we're sitting at my kitchen table, and we're going through it and looking at it, and all of a sudden it says Stearax, and there's a little drawing, a black and white drawing of a plant, used by ancient Egyptians, it says, to stabilize their perfumes.
She sent that one right to you, huh?
So I guess it was the real thing. And we still make it, and we still use it.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Christopher Penzak is, I don't even know how to describe how much information you have to have in your head in order to be a good, to be an herbalist, even to be a novice herbalist.
Right.
It's crazy. But Laurie and Christopher were talking today, and Christopher has written a book about herbs as well. So
he's written a book probably about everything.
Exactly, brilliant.
He's very knowledgeable.
Exactly.
And if you don't know, he has the Temple of Witchcraft in Salem, New Hampshire.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he does. He has the most unbelievable books. We love Christopher.
I know.
Yeah.
And he has a poison garden, he said.
Really?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about
We'll talk that.
now.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But the other book that you were talking about, and again, I will post it. His book is called The Plant Spirit Familiar, which I thought that was a great name as well.
Yeah.
The publisher's Cauldron, but Christopher Penzak does that book as well. So we can talk a little bit about that. I want to hear about the poison thing when we're ready to talk about that. But so those are some references that we're giving to you guys, because honestly, there's so much information out there. You could spend your life studying
Well, it
herbalism.
is a life study. And, a lot of witches specialize in that maybe one thing. Either astrology, healing, herbalism. There's all these different facets of our lifestyle. And to become an expert in any one of those areas, you really have to devote a lot of study.
Yeah.
And also there are people who teach this. One of them is Rosemary Gladstar. There's another one I'd like to say, but I've forgotten her name. It's from the 60s, and she wrote a fabulous little book. There are several teachers. Also Maria Carlos, one of our high priestesses in Salem, she does a course on herbalism, and she has a degree in it. So you can learn again, it's dedication.
Yeah.
It would take a lifetime.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn all the four different categories?
Yeah.
See, I've only been able to learn a little bit about healing and a little bit about culinary and a lot about magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we talk through all of that, guys, couple things. First of all, we need to caveat this with, first of all, you don't have to be a witch in order to work with herbs. However, you need to understand that herbs are not just, things that you pick out of the garden and use however you want. You need to understand how to combine them or how they affect medications you might be on and all of that. So tread wisely and get your information before you actually start messing around with stuff.
And a lot of herbs are not stabilized. If chamomile is grown in Africa, it might not be as strong as the chamomile that's growing in Canada, right? Because these herbs do grow in different areas, and in some places they're stronger than others. And that's one thing that the American Medical Association has a problem with, because it's not stabilized. You have to be careful using anything you ingest or place on your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we dig in, because we have a lot of stuff here on the table. So where would you like to start? What
I
are you
think
thinking?
you should start. Well, we have frankincense and myrrh.
I can start with that.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not an expert at all. I'm not even close. But I do know about frankincense and myrrh. So if you haven't ever used the frankincense and myrrh, are they called resins?
It's a resin.
Yeah, resins like this. These are fantastic for so many different things, but the couple things that's really important is, obviously you can use them to cleanse a room. You can use them
smudging.
to smudging.
It does. The church uses.
Yeah. Well, yes. Okay. So you guys know I grew up in Catholic school forever and ever and ever. So yes, that the church used to always always do the incense of.
And instead of frankincense and myrrh, the Celts, we use storax, which is the resin off of pine trees. When you have your Yule tree up, you can scrape off that resin and keep it in a little jar, and you can burn that as smudge. Does the same thing.
Right. So smudge is one use. Another use is, these are the great stabilizers, right? So no matter what you're doing, and we're actually going to talk about kind of creating your own little potpourri bowl.
Yes.
But whenever you want to whenever you're doing something and you want to put something that's a stabilizing force, frankincense and myrrh.
Absolutely. And it also, I have what they called a ginger jar. And in it I have herbs and flowers and things that are dried from the 1970s. And in it, not only the oils that I put in like myrrh and amber and a few things, and then frankincense and myrrh, the resins, I put in with it. The oils, it contains and keeps and stabilizes the scent. So if you're going to put strawberry oil in, and it's going to trigger all the scent of all the herbs that you have in there, it'll last forever. In fact, when I do my witch's cords, I have 3 little bags of herbs on each cord, and in that mix I always use frankincense and myrrh. So that cord that's hanging up, the scent should last, a lifetime, hopefully.
I don't know if we can see this on camera. Let me see. I'm looking. Yeah, you can see. If you look to the right here on Laurie's curio, this is one of her cords, and you can see. We probably should have pulled that down, but that's okay. You can see the 3 bags, and the bags are actually where she has the herbs in them, and they smell wonderful and they stay forever. So frankincense and myrrh, absolute favorites. If you are going to use them for smudging, you need to have some kind of thurible or some kind of holder that's preferably, cast iron is really the best.
Well, my suggestion is that one.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, if you were to light you have to light a charcoal,
Right.
and it has gunpowder in it, by the way.
So I'll
This
put that
is-
down.
This is not the charcoal you cook with, it's different. And it says a little tiny, you can take one down.
It's a little disc, right.
You can break it in half, you don't really need the whole thing. But you're going to set that on fire, you're going to light it and let it, it turns almost white
Yeah,
as it's burning.
yeah. You have to let it sit for a while. So it's quick acting charcoal. You can get it, we have them all different places. I mean, Enchanted obviously has them, but it's really easy to find. Hold on, I'm just trying to do this without getting it all over me. And it's just, if you can see it, guys, it's just a little disc. And
It has a little indent in it, and what the important part about this is you fill whatever container you're going to burn it in, you fill it with a third of the way with pebbles and rocks, and 2/3 of the way up with sand, so that it diffuses the heat, because these get very hot, it'll
Yes.
burn your furniture.
yes,
You don't want to set this down directly on your furniture. And
I
you
have a
don't
burn
wanna
mark
hold
in my,
it.
I have a burn mark in my carpet from it.
Right, there you go. And you can't carry it.
No,
You have to wear, those mitts used for baking.
yeah.
But I have it on a crystal
Yep.
thingy. Yeah.
This
I-
looks like quartz.
I just put it like that on my altar. But once you lit it, you let it turn almost white before you do anything. And then you sprinkle, your frankincense and myrrh, or whatever herbs you're going to use. But you have to be careful about burning herbs too, because some of them, when they're burning, are poison.
Yeah.
Especially red pepper and peppercorns.
So these are honestly,
Use
literally
them every day.
from the kitchen, right? So peppercorns.
They came out of my kitchen.
Yep. And red pepper, right here. Beautiful. So, why don't you talk to us about,
Well, what it
How you use them.
actually is chemical warfare.
okay.
It's used to make the gases that kill people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So you don't want to ever, because its intentions, the magical intention is passion, of course, to make, your love hot, an attraction, whatever. So a lot of people think, oh boy, I'm gonna put this, on the thermal and let it burn. It's gonna bring everything to me, and you can actually die from it.
Yeah, okay, so don't do that. Let's be clear, we're not recommending you do that. But how do people typically use peppercorn and red pepper for passion? Is it in the food, or is it in a potpourri? What is your experience?
It's either in food or potpourri, and usually it's in we call it a filter potpourri. It's a mixture of herbs you put together that all have the same intention. Intention of love, passion, because you're trying to draw passion or love to yourself, from someone. If you don't have a partner, you're looking for a partner. That's kind of what we do sometimes. And that works, it helps, but you do not need to burn it. In fact, you cannot, you should not ever do that. But it does work.
I think I'm gonna do a little
And
potpourri on it.
everybody has it in their kitchen, and they have no idea that they could put it under the pillow at night.
And spice up that night, huh?
And their husband is gonna go, what happened to you? You turned into a maniac.
All right, let's not go down that path. That's not what this feed is about. However, that's an interesting one. So we're trying to give you some like little tips about the ways that you can use it. Guys, I'm looking at it and I'm not seeing any questions yet, so I'm just watching it. So if you have any questions as we go along, just ask, because I am trying to keep an eye on it.
Now imagine if you mix that with oils. You can mix it with oils,
Yeah,
like a love potion,
yeah,
and another love herb, and then you put it with a crystal
Yeah.
under the mattress.
yeah.
Or,
boom.
oh yeah.
Well,
Or
it's-
anywhere in the house just for self-love, for
Yeah.
esteem. That's important. And
Yeah. So I brought a Mangano calcite. We talked about them last week.
Yeah,
It's definitely a great passion crystal. And you know, one of the things that we actually have here is we have rose buds and rose petals.
Rose always represents the goddesses. Every goddess you can name from every culture, the rose represents their power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely agape, or a love herb, completely. And you know, you can eat rose. You can put it into salads and things if it's organic.
Okay, so we're not recommending that you do that unless you research it first.
You don't. The ones you get from the florist usually have chemicals. You can't do that. You know, it's
So
not
we don't
good.
want people eating roses and then, you know, having a big problem.
No.
So just to veer off just a little bit off topic. So one time we were in Laurie's office or her reading room at Enchanted, and I think you were just starting to decorate it. So you had decorated it, and you were trying to like really. It was before I got all my crystals into it. So
On the floor.
I know, on the floor everywhere. And Laurie had this beautiful crystal bowl and said to me, "Is there any rose petals out there and lavender out there?" And I was like, "I don't know, let me go take a look." And she's like, "I think you had me get rose essential oil, and I think I got lavender essential oil, but you made me get something else. Was it orange?"
It could be orange because that it ignites the acidic part of that ignites both the scent of the rose and the lavender.
Right.
It could be lemon, orange, or strawberry. Could do that.
Got it. So, got the stuff, you know, ran out, got the stuff. I mean, you'd think that I never worked while I'm there, but I actually was working, but maybe I don't even know what was going on. But anyway, we put it into the bowl, and then Laurie started to put the oils in, and then she said, "Go get some, you know, crystals." So I went out and I got some clear quartz and rose quartz and, you know, I think I got some amethyst. I got some different ones, right, for you to choose from. I got a whole bunch of them for her to choose from. And she put it in there, and she started to really, you know, mix it all together. I think we had a spoon or something. I can't even remember what we had. Yep. And put it together, and it smelled amazing. And then she said, "Okay, you need to go get me some frankincense and myrrh." So I got that. She put that in there. And this bowl was beautiful. It really, honestly, it was just a beautiful smell.
It fills the room. It's like what people usually call potpourri. You know, everyday person sometimes will have a bowl of a mix of some kind of flowers.
Yeah.
But that's not enough, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, flowers are okay, but how do you keep that scent going for months and months and months in that open bowl?
Yep. So
this is the way to do it.
So honestly, she said to me, this will keep the smell forever. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So, you know, whatever, we you know, went along our business. The next time I went in, it was about a week later. I went right to that bowl, still smelled as strong as it started with. Week later, still smelled as strong. It's still sitting in Enchanted, I think a year and a half later, and it still smells amazing.
The same.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And the real trick, too, is you're igniting all the intentions of those herbs. Now, what does lavender do? What kind of information and power and energy and attraction does it give us? What does it do for us? What do roses do? And what are roses ruled by? What planet are they ruled by? Well, their color is red usually. Well, that's Mars. And people usually think of Mars as, you know, the planet of war. No, it's not. It may have something to do with that because it's about negotiation, partnerships, marriage, and all kinds of senses of partnering with love. So it's also a goddess flower to bring in feminine power, your own feminine, the goddess in you. So when you use that around you and the scent keeps coming to you, it helps you empower yourself, which is very important. So knowing what you're mixing and what it's going to do for you is not just the scent. It does much more than just smell so wonderful. it does all kinds of things for your life.
Mhm.
And some of it's healing, like the orange or the lemon or even strawberry is a healing of the fruit.
Mhm.
So you can add those things to it for healing as
Mhm.
well.
Okay.
And you can charge things with your own energy. The reason I like to mix some of it with my hands
Mhm.
is I'm putting my energy, my aura
Mhm.
is going into the herbs as I hold them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And my intention is what I want the herbs to do for me.
Mhm.
And that's why I mix it somewhat with a spoon, but putting your hands and holding, either that or, you know, you can hold it before you put it together.
Right.
I do that quite often. I'll just take, you know, a bunch of lavender and hold it, close my eyes, and envision the energy around the herb, and then I infuse it with whatever intention it can bring for me.
Mhm.
You know, peace, calm,
Mhm.
happiness. I mean, there's a whole lot of things lavender will do for you. And remembering, it's almost like rosemary for remembering,
Yes.
you know. So you can use it for that as well.
I know someone who actually cooks with rosemary. Right before her children have tests the next day, she actually makes sure that their dinner the night before has rosemary in it. So
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Okay, and lavender. Now you guys have probably all heard of, and you know you can find this anywhere. Lavender is great if you need to fall asleep. I personally can't stand the smell of lavender alone, so I can't put it in near my bedroom.
I
I don't
didn't know.
know.
I thought I was the only one in the world.
I'm like, oh my god, it smells.
Ollie would live with it rolling up his nostrils. I can't do that. It has to be, like you said, balanced with
Yeah.
something else.
So I mean, so lavender, very easy to get. I mean, it's a very common one. Lavender and rose. This is a really beautiful one.
Oh, that's mild. It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Well, it's mild, but you're smelling it through the plastic
Well,
too.
that's what I mean, strong.
Yeah, yeah.
But it has a mild scent.
Yeah. So I have to say, I have mixed, and I don't even know if this is proper to do this, but I had a mice problem, and I was freaking out. And I took little bags like this, you know, because obviously I wasn't gonna put poison around. I had cats.
Yeah,
and,
we need to talk about those.
okay. So I had that, and I put lavender all around the house, and I put peppermint leaves with a little bit of peppermint oil all around the house. The house smelled of lavender and peppermint. I swear to God, it was like a big
smells
candy
good.
cane.
Yeah, it's candy.
It was like between a candy cane and like, you know, some old woman's perfume. And but that was, you know, I had talked to some of the people in the hardware store, and I said, how do I get rid of these? My cats are walking by me with a tail hanging out of their mouth, and then I have to get the mouse out, and then I have to rescue it and like put it outside, and that was not my thing.
I know we don't want to kill them.
No,
we
no.
just don't want them to live
Well,
with us.
you know, my cats would like grab it, and then they would like walk over to their little bed with it hanging out, so they hadn't eaten it yet. They were just holding it in
Playing
their mouths.
with it.
Yes.
They'll play with it till it's dead.
Well,
you
so I
know?
used
I
to be.
can't handle
No, I used to be able to rescue them, but when I put the lavender and the peppermint all around the house, it stunk.
Gone.
But I didn't have mice after that. So that's what I actually have in my closet. I have lavender and peppermint in my
Well,
closet.
it's also good for spiders and
Mm-hmm.
other animals and insects that like to come in, especially in the winter. Now it's starting to get cold. You're going to find little buggies coming in because
Yeah.
it's too cold for them outside.
Yeah.
So they're finding a nice little house.
Yeah.
And it's yours. So what she's saying will help you so much with that. And it's not going to hurt them.
No, it doesn't hurt
And
anybody.
ants too. Ants don't like cinnamon too.
No, you know what else they hate is cloves.
Cloves and cinnamon.
Cloves.
Ruled by Jupiter, which is really good for influencing people in high places and expanding your life. And it's one of the best planetary intentions you can get is with cinnamon
That's a
and
little piece.
cloves. And this is a little piece of cinnamon.
How'd that happen?
There's some, I don't know,
There's
it's
some
some
on the top.
longer
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. There was definitely ones over
And
here.
what I used to like to do, if I had hot chocolate or coffee, hot in the morning, or tea, you put the cinnamon stick right in it and stir it. And so you're ingesting the cinnamon and very lightly. It doesn't get too strong when you do that. So you're doing the magic while you're drinking your coffee. But this also, it has to be powdered.
Powdered cinnamon.
That's the problem. So you'd have to pour, the powder around the edges of maybe the refrigerator or wherever you think the ants are coming in.
So, we had, I'm at the beach, I'm at the beach, right? And the beach in the summertime, we always have these little tiny ants. We have the big ants and then we get little ants. So it's like throughout this whole thing.
Carpenter ants.
My mother had cloves everywhere. You'd walk into the kitchen and there were cloves everywhere. We didn't have any ant traps or anything like that. She had them all over the counter, she had them in the cupboard, she had them everywhere. And she would refresh them every 2 or 3 days. Telling you, those ants would go near the cloves and then they would walk away.
Yeah, they tell everybody else, every other ant, don't go in there.
Right.
And it works. So, those are common uses, and people don't even realize they're also doing a little bit of magic while they're doing that.
That's right.
Because cloves, cinnamon, anise are all ruled by Jupiter, which is a powerful success planet. The light from Jupiter and the herbs from Jupiter will help you to be successful at everything.
Since you're talking about magic, let's talk about something that you told me is incredibly important, and I forgot to get it out of the kitchen before we started this. Let's talk about bay leaves.
Oh, bay leaves. Bay leaves. And this sounds so corny and silly, but you take if you're going to court for something and you want to win, and this has worked over and over, it's so crazy. You take a bay leaf and you take like a magic marker or something, and you write the name of the judge, the name of your name, and put the word win next to your name. Put it in your left shoe.
In your left shoe?
In your left shoe. Well, you're going to be walking on it.
Okay, one leaf.
One leaf, and wear it to court, and you win.
So everybody that's going to court,
I don't
what
have
do you got to
any
lose?
explanation. I stress the science of witchcraft and magic. I don't understand that, but it's worked for centuries.
Okay. So what else do we use bay leaves for? Because everybody says bay leaves are so important. Are there other things that you like to use them for?
I think it's definitely a money herb too.
Okay.
And it enhances the power of other herbs, so you can add it to a filter.
Okay.
Hopefully to just empower the other herbs.
Okay. Crushed or the actual leaves themselves?
The leaves.
Okay.
Now, another herb in the cabinet, in everybody's cabinet, is usually basil. Basil is a love herb. It's ruled by Venus, and it's very strong when it comes to love. No wonder people like pizza. This is basil in Italian gravy in the sauce.
Yes, of course.
And so it's a love herb, and it's great for yourself to give your self-esteem a boost, using it either to ingest, but also to hold it and charge it to give yourself power, courage, self-esteem, and then put it into a bag. Now, the best bag for that would be the green one.
Okay.
Green is the planet of Venus. So you put all the basil in here, and you might want to put some other herbs in here that are for love. You can still add the roses and things like that if you want to, but just the basil itself.
Yeah.
And you carry it or put it in your bra.
Yeah.
Or in your pocketbook.
I think I need to start doing this. Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to help you. And courage is self-love when you put those two things together.
Yeah.
Confidence is self-love. And we all need that, especially now.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a pandemic. We have never experienced this.
Yeah.
We're trying to do the right things, and we're trying to save lives, and we need to have the courage to do that.
Right.
And to find the magic to end it.
Right. And I mean, this is like, this is simple stuff here, guys. Everybody has basil in their cupboard. Well, most people have basil in their cupboard. Now, we did crystals last week, and if you were to add a crystal to that, I would say put a clear quartz in there. That would be a great one because it amplifies
Rose.
everything. And a rose quartz, yeah.
It
And
would be so powerful.
yeah, so
And carry it around with that. That's awesome. So let's talk about the colors then. You know, gold is the sun. You're ruled by the sun. And of course, the sun is for healing and success.
yeah, so we don't have a gold one there, but that's okay.
Well, it looks goldish.
Yeah. Okay, got it. I got
It's
this one.
pink, right?
That one's pink, yeah.
Well, pink is also Venus, but, yeah, we don't have a real gold one.
Yeah, we didn't grab that one. But, okay, so gold we know is for healing.
Or black. You can use black for all because it draws in all the colors of the rainbow
Mhm.
to create black. So it absorbs everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use a black one for any intention whatsoever.
Okay.
And of course, this is for love, passion, Mars rule. This is another Jupiter, because blue, turquoise, and purple are the colors of planet
Mhm.
Jupiter
Mm-hmm.
for success again, and money, and expansion. Say you want a position in a company and you want to raise that position, you use Jupiter everything. You use the cinnamon, you use all Jupiter oils, you wear the colors,
Mhm.
and you charge it with your energy again. Orange, Mercury,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also the sun and Mercury.
Yeah.
So it's for healing mostly, and communication, helping you to communicate with people.
Right.
There are people, sometimes you just don't click. This might help you, especially at a workplace,
Yeah.
and especially now that everybody's bound together in one place in their house.
Yep.
They haven't communicated
That
in years.
could be a really important thing. So, question about that: is there a particular herb that you like to help enhance communication?
Well, I've never used a lot. I like citrine as a stone,
Mm-hmm.
but I also use like all the yellow herbs, like chamomile
Mhm.
yellow,
Do you use any of?
calendula,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What about dandelion? Is that?
no, definitely.
Dandelions?
Dandelion would
Okay.
be wonderful for that. Solomon seal
Okay.
would be good. Those are 4 beautiful herbs for that.
Okay, so guys, if you're having fights because you're listening to everybody in your house doing Zoom calls, you just heard the remedy for that, and you can actually replay this if you need to know what it is again. What about the white? What do you see in that?
Well, the white refracts and reflects light. It sends things out. So if you have a message you want to send, a spell you're putting out there, you use a white bag.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to repel something, get rid of anger, get rid of enemies or danger,
Mm-hmm.
then you put all the herbs that are protection herbs, like your mandrake and a few others in here. You
Okay.
know? I'm trying to think of what ones you would use. Frankincense are definitely, but I don't know what we have here.
Well, we have lots of different ones here, but we can always look. So
Yeah, this is the chamomile.
Yeah.
And let's see what else we
you guys
have.
can see this one.
Oh, ginger.
Yeah.
Ginger root is for healing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a protector.
Okay.
It's great for healing and magically healing
Mm-hmm.
as well. Healing the mind as well.
Mm-hmm.
Red clover. Red clover definitely is a healer, but it also is helps with dreams and it helps your angst.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody gets so anxious because they're on top of each other in the house now
Mm-hmm.
and can't get outside.
Mhm.
And this is one of the good ones, to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have mustard seed here.
That's money.
Oh, money. Okay. So let's see.
It's
Which
cute.
color bag? What color? With green for money?
And green, gold, yellow.
Yellow. Yep.
Even orange could be used. And of course Jupiter, you could use that for money too because you're trying to expand
Mm-hmm.
your finances,
Mhm.
basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how do you use mustard seed for money? What do you do?
You really charge it with your hands,
Mhm.
or put it with a crystal that's charged,
Okay.
and you carry it. Or again, you can leave it in an open bowl.
Okay.
But putting it on your person,
Yep.
carrying it is the best way to do it.
So would you use a citrine with it? Would you use an aventurine? What would be
I
your?
think both.
Okay.
And of course, a piece of gold jewelry. If you have a lot of people don't have real gold, but
Mhm.
even a gold color
Mhm.
piece of jewelry mixed with it, like a ring.
Right.
You know, I have 3 gold rings here,
Okay.
and one of these I would put like in the bag
Yep.
with it. You know,
What about, so this I'm wondering if this would counteract it. What about iron pyrite? Because you know it's gold, but it's called fool's gold, but the properties of iron pyrite are very different than, what most people expect.
I
So
know, and they're good. It's good for protection.
protection as opposed to money.
Absolutely, it's very good for protection.
Okay.
And hematite as well.
Mhm.
Pyrite, hematite.
Hematite, remember hematite, not if you have a pacemaker or any kind of metal in your body.
Yeah, I can't use it.
No.
Also, tiger's eye is a great stone to use for protection, but also money.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah, because it's got the gold
right.
in it. you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Comfrey. Now this is the greatest healer. If you ever have a chance to grow a garden, an herb garden, please grow comfrey. And just before it flowers, the plant can grow 4 feet high, and the leaves are quite large like this and kind of fuzzy looking. If you have a broken arm, if you have a bruise, if you have a tennis elbow,
Mhm.
an Achilles heel, anything, any area of your body that is damaged like that,
Mhm.
you take the fresh leaves especially. Now this is dried and it can work, but the fresh leaves, you bruise them, you kind of crush them,
Mhm.
you put them in a bowl and pour boiling water over them.
Okay.
As soon as it's cool enough to wrap around the area of concern, then you wrap the leaves around it and put saran wrap around it and a towel, and you leave it overnight, and it heals by morning. The bruise is gone completely. Two different men came. I didn't know either, and they didn't know each other. And one had tennis elbow and one had the Achilles heel, and I healed both of them with my plant.
Oh, really?
And I was shocked too. I mean, I was very shocked, and they were so excited.
Because I had tennis elbow, honestly, for like 7 months. And I don't play tennis. I mean, that was just, I twisted it the wrong way.
Exactly.
It killed.
Well, you can do it with this. It's not as potent, but you can infuse this into oil, a base oil.
Okay.
And you could use jojoba oil, and you can use almond oil, grape oil.
Mhm.
Sunflower oil might work too, I believe. Infusing it is another process, where you have to put it in a pan. I like to use an enamel pan if you can find one.
Yeah, why don't you explain the whole infusing process with herbs, because I think that's a really important one.
Right.
Get a pen and paper, guys.
When you're infusing with water, you heat the water and you put the herb or the mixture of herbs in it and steep it. You put it on the stove and you bring it up to a boil, but you do not let it boil, and you take it off of the fire. You wait until it's cool, put it back, you do that 3 times.
So you put it back on, you bring it to a boil, then you take it off.
And you don't allow it to boil
Right.
at all.
Okay.
You have to watch it and be careful.
Yeah.
And then you might want to have to put a stabilizer in it because it can ferment because it's an herb and water. So any herb and water means you need something to, like salt, sea salt, or something to keep it from fermenting.
Okay.
In the case of this, it would be the same thing.
So the dry, concrete. concrete.
Yeah, or you could make this into a paste. You could put it in a paste, and you can use it. And you can use it for anything. You can use it for cooking. You can use it for, you know,
Okay, and what would the paste be used for?
Paste would be for putting on the bruise or
Yeah.
the broken bone, and you can mix it with an oil, but you'd have to, again, heat it
Mm-hmm.
up to almost, this you'd probably have to put in the microwave or
Mm-hmm.
in the oven for a while to heat that oil infuse it into the dried
Right,
wood.
because you don't want to boil
So
that,
it
right?
mixes, yeah.
Yeah, because,
So it mixes. Yeah, infusion is important with using herbs for healing especially.
okay,
And of course you can make a potion that way. And a paste sometimes works, making a paste of it.
okay. So I'm looking back here, there were a couple questions here, so let's just, before we keep going,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to find, I saw something about someone put, okay, I saw someone put something about, herbs that you can use around your pets for protection, but also to kind of keep them in a good place,
So
and,
you have to be very careful
Yeah.
about that.
yeah,
A lot of plants also, like philodendron is known as a money plant.
oh, really?
And it grows, as you know, it's a vine that just grows and grows.
Yeah,
And it takes very little light at all for it to grow. But it's poison for your animals. It's poison for you. But another thing, it's not just having it in the house that brings money, that helps, but take a leaf from it now and then. Combine it with a money oil,
mm-hmm,
write out a money spell, and wrap that leaf in the spell.
okay,
And put it in a safe place so that it can just not be touched for a
Okay.
while. And allow it to draw money to you,
okay,
okay?
so,
But it's poison.
it's poison,
And especially animals, be very careful of
yes,
that. And you can look that up online, I'm sure, if you have plants in the house.
Yes.
Or herbs.
any herbs,
A lot of herbs are poison to animals.
Yes.
You have to be very, very careful.
yeah, and you know, your cats and your dogs are going right towards your herbs if you have
That's the
anything
first
out,
thing they'll do.
they're like going crazy for it, so,
Frankincense and myrrh can be ingested, by the way.
oh, okay,
They're healers as well.
okay,
You can get, I think you can get myrrh tablets if you want to from health food stores.
Really?
Yeah.
okay, so, another question, oh, someone's saying, can you talk about witches' bottles, I don't really, do you know what that mean, what they're talking about, witches' bottles?
Yeah, but spell bottles.
Oh, spell bottles, okay, that's a little different than herbs, but fine, I mean, do you put herbs in the spell bottles?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to, it's the intention of the spell bottle.
I'm just looking, I know, I was still looking to see if there was one around
I
here.
don't know where Penny is. I don't have any right here.
Yeah, I don't see any either.
But a spell bottle contains all kinds of things, and when Penny makes the spell bottle, she always has something from a sacred place, either from Greece or England, you know, from the Tour or Glastonbury or something like that. But also an herb that is the intention for the spell bottle. Is the spell bottle to have a peaceful home? Is the spell bottle for love? You know, whatever its intention is.
Penny, you know, Laurie and Penny both make spell bottles, but Penny's really been making them lately, and she's just been making these gorgeous spell bottles. But I think the thing that's really, I have like several of hers, and I think the thing that's really important is the combination of what's in there. There's herbs in there, but there are special things in there. And there's crystals, there's all sorts of things. It's really
Magical. And
very-
a spell is in there.
yeah, it's very, very,
And
very,
everything in there is charged.
yeah,
And there are precious metals in there and stones, all kinds of things she puts together.
yeah.
Like her wands are like that as
Yeah.
well.
Okay, so someone's asking, is there any herb that could help to get a job after you go for an interview?
Oh, yes, that's the Jupiter herb,
Okay.
and the citrine,
Mm-hmm.
or amethyst is a Jupiter stone
Yeah,
to
yeah,
carry.
yeah.
Turquoise is also a Jupiter stone, and you mix that with your cinnamon and cloves,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
etc. You know, and you could look up more of the herbs that are ruled by Jupiter. There's
Right.
quite a few.
Right.
And
So,
you put them in the bag, a purple bag would be even better.
yeah,
I think, or turquoise little bag
to bring with you on
to
your
bring
interview.
with you on your interview, absolutely.
Okay.
And sometimes wearing pink, I know it doesn't seem like it's official looking, or, if you're going for a job, that has some status, you might think, I can't wear pink. But pink brings communication between people, makes people comfortable between one another. So if you're wearing a bright pink something, and then you use pink roses or a pink flower that you're, in your mix as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So, I mean, can it be a pink ring, or are we talking about someone wearing a pink tie? Obviously, they're not going to wear a fuchsia tie, but can it be baby pink, or are you talking about?
It's
Bright
usually
pink.
a bright pink.
So, stick that in your pocket.
It doesn't have to be huge,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be huge, but it makes all the difference. The light affects us, as you know. Every single day you wake up with sunlight or no sunlight, that affects you, the amount of light that hits you. But what you don't understand, every planetary light is hitting you. If you're ruled by Jupiter, you're going to be picking up more of the light from Jupiter, which is the royal blue, turquoise, and purple light. And it's hitting you. So if you wear those colors, you're absorbing more of it. If you're wearing black, of course, you will absorb it automatically. This absorbs all colors, and that's why witches wear black.
Everybody wears. A lot of people wear black. You don't even have to be a witch
And
to
they
wear black.
don't know why,
Exactly.
but we do.
It's like a uniform.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Black is a good thing to wear.
So you have this great big
In my jar.
jar right there. Do you want to talk about what that's for?
Yeah, it's I wrote on the back of it that I'm leaving it to my grandson.
Okay.
But this is myrrh, and I have written on here in Theban what it does. And Theban writing, you can look that up online too, and witches use it often to write something that people can't read.
No, even okay.
Well, Theban alphabet you could write on parchment or old paper bag with black ink and write something in Theban for protection and put it over the top of your front door or under the mat. And if you have it out in a frame in the house, people can't read it, but it's definitely warning them.
Okay.
It says, mine says, the one I have in the back, it's a plaque I made. It says, warning for those who come to do mortal harm. I am not responsible for what happens to you.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're not suggesting anyone go and do any mortal harm, but so
no.
So
That's not what it's about.
so this container of myrrh that you have, do you actually use the myrrh in it, or?
I have occasionally. I try to keep it because I'm leaving it to my grandson.
Yeah. So
So I don't use a lot of it. I replace a little bit, but that's been like that since 1972.
So where did it come from? You got it
It
in.
was when I opened the first witch shop in America.
Yeah.
It was one of the first herbs I actually bought to sell in my store. I found a wonderful herbal, by the way, a wonderful herbal place. It's called Attar in New Hampshire. It's a lovely place. They now have a little restaurant, a tea parlor, and they grow the herbs there, and it's charming, and their oils and things are beautiful. They're really condensed, so their essential oils are amazing. So one of my first things that I bought to sell in my store was this right here. It came from Attar.
Yeah. I just actually want to stop for 1 second. So a lot of people say that the podcasts are difficult to hear. So I'll tell you guys, the best thing for you to do, I mean, we're talking loud and we both have our microphone, okay? So the best, and the volume is turned up as much as it can be. The best thing to do is put earphones in, because once you put the earphones in, you can hear it. I can also tell you from experience, I listened to the one from last week on my computer. It was really soft. But then when I listened to it on my phone, it was really much
The
louder.
phone is much
Yeah,
louder for
but
some reason.
You gotta use headphones, guys. I know it's hard, and I know you want us to turn up the volume. The volume is as turned up as it is, and the camera is as
See,
close to us as possible.
That's what it looks
Yes,
like.
yes, we are,
Yeah.
we're kind of very, tech savvy having these little AirPods on us, but,
I told you, we're the technician.
Okay, so you have another little jar right here, and, we wanna try to at least,
No, that is nothing to do with herbs.
oh, that has nothing to do with herbs?
No.
Okay, alright, so we don't wanna go through that. So,
And
I'm just,
these are some roses that were harvested, and they are natural. There's no medicinal, no chemicals on it. And what we do is we put them together like this, with elastic band, and hang them upside down.
right,
And you can't see it, but over here to our left, we
Mhm.
have 3 or 4 or 5 different herbs that were sent to us from
I don't know if you can see it, I can't get it into the,
Cornwall.
Yeah.
They all came from Cornwall.
yeah.
One is lavender, by the way.
Mhm.
But there's another plant, and I can't pronounce it. It starts with an M. That grows profusely in Cornwall.
Okay.
It's an orange flower.
Hold on, I'm gonna stand up and get it, hold on.
Yeah, please, because I don't know what it is, but it's very powerful.
Okay, so, I have to be careful, cause these are pennies, right, so.
Yeah, this is not the one.
Okay, that's not it. Is it
It's
it's the orange one right here, I got it. I don't know what it is it orange blossom?
I have no idea. No, of course not.
Okay.
I have no idea. I have the name. I can't pronounce it.
Okay.
Starts with an M. We're gonna have to ask somebody from Cornwall what
Right.
this is.
If anybody knows what Laurie's talking about, post it please, so that we can share it. Now, I think Penny posted that these were given to you on your birthday.
Yes.
So, and she's, the queen of hanging them. In fact, I'm terrified because there's a leaf that just fell off.
I don't think that matters. Here, you put that
And,
one.
and I think I'm off camera right now. I don't think they can hear me.
You are off camera.
Yeah,
But this is a wonderful way to hang them up and anywhere in the house. If you're going to leave them up very long, you should wrap them in maybe cheesecloths to keep the dust off of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to really leave them up till they're dusty. You want
Okay.
to be able to use them.
Yeah.
But if anyone knows, and I know who does know, Faith is the one who sent, and she's listening right now. And Faith is in Cornwall. Of course, it's late for her.
Yeah.
But if she could, how?
We'll find it out and we'll post it, guys, okay? So
That's a
the
good
orange
idea.
flower, we'll find it out what it
But
is.
it's ruled by Mercury and the Sun, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
So what's the best way that you like to use it? You just dry it and you leave it, you hang it, or do you
Well,
actually
Well,
crumble
actually,
it?
you could leave it hanging forever
Mhm.
and touch it with a little bit of oil or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a healing plant.
Mhm.
It's also success, it's communication, it's a combination of a lot of things. And I think it's beautiful as well. So you could leave it like this if you wanted to
Yeah.
in your kitchen or something. But taking the flowers off of it
Mhm.
and making an herbal packet,
Mhm.
you can do that.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about, you guys can hear me, I'm off camera, I'm sorry. We've talked a lot about different things that you can do for magical ways, and I know, guys, we wanna make sure that we end on time. I know we're a little bit late, but we're just gonna finish up with this. Someone asked, are there any other flower petals that can be used with herbs that are important for you to use?
Oh, well, all of them have some kind of intention, you
Mhm.
know. Again, you need to go like culpepper, you need to go by color, the yellow flowers or the sun for
Mhm.
success, money, healing.
Okay.
The lavender and purple are ruled by Jupiter.
Yeah.
And that's, again, success and all those things. So you need to learn it. In my little green book, that's how, and they have it Enchanted.
Mm-hmm.
This book I put together explicitly for that, what you're asking, so that I put the symbols of the planets that it's ruled by,
Mhm.
each one of these herbs.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can look up, and then I put a sort of an similar intention. That sometimes when they're ruled by 2 or 3 different planets, they can have several different intentions. And you need to have something to follow. If you can't memorize them all and you don't use them every day, you need a book like this so that it can help you pick the intentions and the power of that particular herb is its intention. In this book, I have a list of all the planets, what it's ruled by, and then it shows you how it's infused. There's a picture of, say, the sun hitting a planet, then the planet's light hitting Earth as it's grown, and that's what happens. And then when you get it, you put that in your hand, you double the energy of the herb and the energy of your own body, and you trigger it. It ignites it, and it has to do with the light from your body, but also the oils in your hands. You know, because you're connecting in many, many different ways when you touch herbs. And I have it tells you about what herbs to use for dreams.
Yep.
It tells you all about the planets and what they do. So it's an easy way to deal with it.
Yep. So we're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes, but you know, as we said, guys, this was not an herb workshop. This was just kind of some of the things that Laurie likes to do.
We didn't even talk about cosmetics.
No, I mean, really, it's past an hour, so maybe we'll do a cosmetic.
Well, that's important too, because people today, you know, we use moisturizers and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And if you can enhance it with an herb,
yeah,
it would be a wonderful thing. But
so if there's an interest in that, we could actually do that. So let us know, guys. Post that if there's an interest in that.
And culinary.
And culinary as well. You know, I mean, honestly, Penny has had me drinking artichoke tea for the past 3 years because it's very detoxifying for the liver.
Yes.
You know, and the thing that you just have to remember, you need to research everything. It doesn't really matter what it says on the package or what it says, you know, you've got to start digging in and
be careful.
You have to look at stuff, yeah, and understand it, and then
start mild, because you could be allergic to one of the plants.
Right.
You know,
right.
That's another issue.
Right. So I'm just looking to see if there's any other questions here. What book is that? Okay, so I'll just go through the books again, but I will post them, guys. Okay, so we have a Salem Witches Herbal book. It's just a really small book that Laurie put together. So she wrote it in the 70s, right? And we still have that at Enchanted. We have the Master Book of Herbalism, okay, and that's by Paul Barrow. We have Culpepper's Complete Herbal Guide. So many different colors, so many different versions of this. This book is like 200 or 300 years old, so he's got over 400.
And then we have
Chris Penzax. So Chris Penzax is the Plant Spirit Familiar.
Right. What?
And then we have Harold Roth, the 10 Witching Herbs.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to get that book.
I know.
Christopher said he's going to send it to me.
Oh, well, there you go.
I
Okay.
know. I'm so excited. I've never seen it, but anyone that has a title like that probably knows what they're doing. And obviously he runs the business of alchemyworks.com.
Right.
And that's where I got my seeds for my mandrake.
Yeah.
And he has seeds and all kinds of oils and herbs and things that are difficult to find.
Right.
He has them all, and it's a good thing to look him up.
Yeah. So most of the books are available at Enchanted, just so you guys know, because I'm seeing
These are all packaging from Enchanted.
Yeah.
And these.
And I think the only thing that's not from Enchanted is the peppercorn and the
That's from my kitchen.
exactly. So that's probably from the supermarket. But is there anything else that you want to just wrap us up with? Because I think we've gone a little bit over, and we promised that we wouldn't do that. You guys all know I'm terrible at staying on time.
Me
but,
too. Well, when we do this, I forget.
I know. We just start gabbing, and it's. We're not kidding when we say 2 years of fireside chats with me and Penny and Christopher Penzac. Like, we sit there with Laurie and chit chat about this kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden 4 hours later I'm like, oh, I'm so late for something, I gotta go.
Well, but that's how we learn, and it's always something new for us to learn too, so I'm happy we can do this for you, and for ourselves, we enjoy it, and we're learning as we're talking.
Yeah.
And anything as an input, please let us know if you have more information or more questions, and we're going to say good night, and we love you all, and blessings.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna stop it, so since we are the self-technicians tonight, I'm gonna go over so that I can stop the thing. So you stay there, and I will stop the live feed. Thank you all for being with us.
I know, it was fun tonight.